You're listening to the Current Plays Podcast, Season 3, Episode 14, Skara Brae. And now please welcome your hosts, Jordan and Thomas.
And welcome back, our wee Gaelic listeners. This
Amazing.
week, we are talking Skara Brae by Garphill Games, made by Shem Phillips. Who did the artwork on this one? Is this Sam?
Sam.
Yeah.
So good.
Sam Phillips? Yeah. You know we love Garphill Games here. Yeah. There's not enough good things to say about him.
This is one, Sam's artwork too. We've talked in the house about like tattoos and stuff. If I ever got a tattoo, it would be something with his artwork on. It's just so good. Like
Yeah.
that. It's hard to say because board games has become like a really big part of our lives, kind of thing, right? We play them a lot. It's a big hobby we have. We do a podcast about it, right? So something we're both pretty passionate about, right? Having said that, you know, they have this anthology line, like it's a picture of their anthology line, and I'm like, oh, it would look so cool as like just like a, you know. But then I'm like, that's a pretty big commitment to to board games at that point when you're getting,
Yeah.
you know, inked with board game stuff. So
Oh, that's cool though, man.
right, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So
okay. We're gonna have to talk about that later.
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But yeah, this one, Skara Brae, is came out fairly recently during our sort of hiatus,
Mhm.
and I feel like this one was Shem was like, resource management game, hold my beer. Let's see how far we can take resource management.
He took it really far.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the game is like it's ancient Scotland, right? And it's based on this town. I don't know.
Skara
Look
Brae.
it up.
But yeah,
Look up the
yeah,
history. Yeah,
yeah.
it's pretty cool. I don't want to mess it up describing it, but basically there's how many different resources in this game? Like 14
300.
or 300
Yeah, yes,
resources.
yeah, yeah.
And your goal is to not only like get resources, but spend those resources as you get them. There's basically a track that so you can on this track it's like rows and columns. There's 3 rows per column, and so you can store 3 resources in that row. And then if you go over to the next row, it pushes this little tracker over. And I think you can get 1 free push. And then after that, at the end of the round, where that marker is, you're going to start collecting midden or like waste or junk, right? And I mean, that midden's going to take up or be worth minus points at the end of the game, but it also takes up your resource spots. And if you get more than 3, it's going to push it over so you get more midden, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's all about the balance of collecting resources and spending those resources, but doing that cycle wisely, not just hoarding resources and then spending them efficiently. Uh, does that make sense? Is
Yeah, no,
that an
that's
adequate
exact
description?
that last sentence there. So not just hoarding them to use them efficiently, like many other games do, right?
Right,
It's
right,
no, there's also a puzzle of not collecting too many that you start to cause yourself to, you know, have additional midden, which is going to, you know, push you farther out kind of thing, right? Because then
right.
at this point, like there's a limited amount of turns that you get in this game, right? And I'm sure you'll cover over that a bit too. So if you're creating more midden, like I don't want to say that it's very difficult to get rid of midden. It's but you have to actively do it, right? So
Yeah.
you're spending actions to get rid of it. So if you make more, that's more actions you got to do to get rid of it, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
there's trade-offs there. Yeah, for like big trade-offs. Can I be as efficient if now I got to spend more turns getting rid of midden uh than had I, balanced that a bit better, right? So it's a very interesting puzzle for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very cool.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we actually couldn't get together physically this week. So we both played this solo. And the reason I
Hmm.
bring this up is the solo game works a little bit differently than a multiplayer game in that you get these additional cards that give you objectives to meet. And I like the way he does this. It You don't have to do them, but they punish you if you don't.
Yep.
So there's one major objective and four minor objectives, and the major objective is kind of a meet this condition or else you're going to lose 5 points,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But what I like about it is that it kind of that condition will lead you to take different strategies in this game, which I find very cool. And we'll get into when we get into like our plays of it. Um, Really kind of opened my eyes. This play of the game, played this like a number of times now. I actually got this on Tabletop Simulator when the game was on Kickstarter. So I backed it on Kickstarter and then immediately downloaded it on Tabletop Simulator and was playing it virtually while I was waiting for the game to be made. But
I I feel like I just looked at my app. So if you're watching me look down on the on YouTube, um, I thought I had played this much more solo than I actually have.
oh yeah.
And I wonder if I've missed some plays of this because I only have it listed twice for solo.
Oh really?
So yeah, I feel like I must have missed something somewhere. Was too tired to actually put in the app or didn't have my phone on me or something. Um, because I like it solo. It plays really well
Yeah.
solo, which we'll get into too. But
I
yeah, absolutely. I love that aspect of both things. The this will punish you if you don't complete these, but also this is going to every game you play solo is going to open you up to, okay, what do I do in this one? Well, here's the condition I got to pass. So I got to play to that condition, right? Um, and I like that. I like
yeah.
when games do that, especially in a solo, right? Hadrian's Wall, which is another Garphill one, but that one's by Bobby Hill. When you play the campaign for that, it has that aspect of, okay, what do I focus on this time? And a more recent one, the Anarchy, which is like Hadrian's Wall 2.0, same thing. The campaigns give you a different task to focus on, so you have to play the game in different ways. And this one has that with those main and even the sub categories that you're going to yeah, maybe don't do this anymore, but the subcategories that you have to complete, right? Um, make you think in different ways. Really cool.
Yeah. So the minor objectives,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So those are typically spend a bunch of resources, but then it will give you a free action,
Hmm, hmm.
which and again, if you don't do it, you're going to lose points. I think it's 2 points for those each.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but the free action is actually so good.
Super
Um,
helpful.
yeah.
Yeah.
So the way this game plays, let's describe it. You've got two. boards, although the one board is made up of tiles. So on the board on your left, you've got the track with your resource storage and your midden production. And again, if you push that tracker over to the right too far, not only are you going to gain midden, but you're going to lose points at the end of the game. Then there are two different tracks on that board.
Hmm?
One is called the furnishing track, and the other one is the trade track. Now, the furnishing track is going to give you points based on the number and type of settlers that you take during the game. And we'll get into that. The trade track, every time you take the trade action, you're going to bump that marker over. It's going to be worth more points. But interestingly, it starts off with the more valuable resources. So you take the trade action and then you can optionally spend a certain resource to gain other resources. So, but I mean, that's what this whole game is,
Yeah.
spending one resource and getting another one. But yeah, it starts off where you can get like a cow, which is kind of a big resource in this game. And then it goes to deer, sheep, rabbit, fish. So it's getting smaller, but all food related. So what does that all mean? So there are going to be 10 different actions that you can take in this game. And one of those is a special action that rotates every time you play. So you're going to draw three tiles, these action tiles, and you get to choose one. And then that's going to be your special action for that game. No other player is going to have that one. And again, it's going to be different every time. So you've got the furnish action, which pushes that furnish track up, right? And then there's cooking to cook your food to feed your people. There's crafting, which upgrades your action tiles to make them better. And then there's clean, which Thomas mentioned is how you can get rid of your midden. And if you can still take this, if you don't have midden, to push that marker back down the track so that you don't lose points and you're making less midden. So that's very nice. It also gives you a roof card, which basically takes place of feeding one of your settlers. Then you've got the trade action. And how trading works is first you have to trade two two of the same resource, and then it's three of the same resource, and then four of the same resource, and then five, and then six of the same resource in order to push that marker along, which, as you can imagine, can get very difficult to have that many of one resource, especially when there are so many different resources in this game and you're constantly using them all to do different things.
Yeah,
The next,
and from a resource management, needing to have six of a single resource means you're taking up a big portion of your your inventory space. So that's pushing
yeah,
out your midden slider just so you can collect six of one resource for a trade, right?
yep, yep. Then the next four actions are like to get those resources, and then your special action, which I won't go over because there's so many different ones, right? At the start of the first round, you only get one worker, and your every round has three turns. You get three turns. On a turn, you're gonna flip some cards, and then you're basically draft them. So in a multiplayer game, I think it's the same number of cards each time and you draft. In a solo game, you're going to flip four and then three and then two to sort of simulate a draft. Most of those cards are going to be settlers, and then some of them are going to be roof cards, stone cards, which gives you scale knives, which is a specific resource, and that's the only way you can get those. Well, until you upgrade the furnished action, but it's one of it's the main way, one of two ways to get those scale knives. And then there's utensils in cooking, which anyway, those special cards are worth a couple of points each.
Yeah.
The settler cards, the way they work is those four different resource gathering actions. When you play a settler, all the settlers match those different actions. And when you play one to that action, you're going to get what that resource, that normal resource is. So for instance, there's a water one, and with water you can collect a shell or seaweed. And so if you play a water settler, then you can collect a shell or a seaweed. But then when you play another water settler, now you've got two of them, you can get two shell or seaweed. And then for the third one, you can get three. So if you go tall, you can get a bunch of the same resource in. But if you go wide, it's worth more points on that settler track if you can push the settler track up. Because the way it works is you get either 1 or 2 points per settler, depending on how far you've gone up that track. And then on top of that, you're going to get a certain number of points for every set of 4 different ones. So it's this balance of.
That's a really clever mechanism as
Yeah,
well.
I like it a lot,
Yeah,
right?
because every game I've played, um, there's always you always come down to the last couple of turns going. There's this point in that marker that it switches from,
Yeah.
earning 1 point for each of your settlers, and then, a varying amount of turns. It goes up to 6 points per set, right? And then when you get one more upgrade on that track, it goes, okay, you now get 2 points per settler, but only 2 points per set. And you got to continue up that track to get that 2 points per set back up to 6 points per set, right?
Yeah.
So it always comes down to do I take that step to turn over into that 2 and 2 and drop the set bonus, but increase the individual bonus, right? And every game I've played, there's been a thought process, and sometimes it goes, okay, these are exactly equal, so it doesn't matter. But yeah, it's always one of those things. Maybe I should do this because maybe it's an easy way to do it at this point for me because I have the right resources. But
Yeah.
should I do that, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I really like that. Yeah, it's just a fun little, because it's so clever. It's a fun thing to have to think about, right?
Yeah. So yeah, you've got you're putting settlers down, you may or may not earn a certain number of points for those settlers. And then once you pick your card, whether it's a settler or one of the other special cards, then you're going to take your actions with your meeples. So like I said, round 1, you've only got one. And then you're going to take 3 actions. You're going to get 3 cards, you're going to take 3 actions. Now round 2, you get 2 meeples. So you're gonna get 3 cards, but now you've got 2 meeples, so you're gonna take 6 actions instead of 3. Round 3, you're gonna get 3 meeples. Round 4, you get 4 meeples. So if you go all settlers, you could end up with 3 rows of 4. Uh, and if you can get up the furnish track, that's a lot of points. But if you can't feed your people, they die. So
Yeah.
if you take a settler and you can't produce food for them, you have to discard your settlers. So yeah.
So again, if you can imagine that, food is one of the resources, and specifically like cooked food.
Yes, yeah.
So you can't just have like a cow and be like, here, eat my cow. You have to cook the cow first. Um, but yeah, so like if you have, it was a 12 settlers, that's 12 food. Unless,
Well,
which
just
is
that
taking up all
round.
that spot, 12 food, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Unless somehow you've gotten some of those houses, which if you're taking settlers every round, then you're not taking the houses, but maybe you
Right.
took the mid and clean action and got a house that way, right? So each house means one less food, but you know, at one settler, that's one food. At two settlers, that's two food, and three food, and four food, and five food, and so okay, maybe 12. Okay, you can afford that 12, but were you able to afford the 11 and the 10 and the 9 each round prior, right? Like that's a lot of food, right?
Right.
So, yeah,
And
yeah, it's
most of the
really
games that I've played, I have played a very settler focused game and tried to get that furnish track up.
hmm.
And getting enough food is a problem because you want the like the big things like the cows and the deer, right?
Yeah.
Because they give you I think two food per whenever you cook them. And you get bones and hide, which are very valuable and difficult to get resources in this game.
Hmm.
But the way the cooking works is there's a limited number of cooking points, right? So you get to like the at base, you get 1 to 4. Whenever you take the cooking action, you get 1 to 4. And then each type of food has a cooking cost to it. The cow is 4. So you're getting
Yeah.
2 food to cook the cow, and it takes your whole cook action. Whereas you have like barley or shells, it's 1 to 1. So cook one shell and you get 1 food. So you could get 4 of those in one cook action, but then you're not getting any bones or hides. So it's this balance. And then so you got to take an action to get that food. You got to take an action to cook it. And then you feed your settlers automatically at the end of the round. But it's a lot. And then that's just 4. If you've got 12 settlers, you know?
And it's such an interesting one with the food too, because yeah, if you're like cooking the barley, you're going, okay, this is kind of on one hand, it's like this is a great trade. I'm trading in, 4 resources here, and I'm getting 4 food. So net for my inventory is going to be it's going to be equal, right?
Right.
But you cook something like a cow, and you're like, okay, I'm freeing up one inventory spot for a cow, and I'm adding 5 resources to my inventory with that one cow, right? That's insane, right? Like that's a lot. Like it's great to have the resources, but at the same time, it's like, oh my goodness,
Yeah.
I only used up one resource and gained 5 here. How do I manage that? Because it comes down oftentimes to like, okay, I want to cook a cow. I have 4 spots. Oh darn, cow gets me 5, and now I got to move my midden counter or whatever to the right a bit, right? And it's
Yeah.
like, oof, and oftentimes it doesn't have to be a cow. It's every decision ends up being, oh, I'm gonna get one more resource than I can fit in here, and
Yep.
now I'm pushing that, farther over, right?
And then you're like,
Um,
can I afford that? Is that okay? Then I'm going to take this much midden. Can I get
yeah,
rid of
yeah,
it?
yeah. And it's really, I really, yeah, it's so whenever Shem does these games, like we're big fans because they're just done in just amazing ways that my brain loves these puzzles. I don't know the type of mind you need to have to create these puzzles though. It's just it's
100%.
mind-boggling, right? Yeah, yeah. And then yeah, just having that extra action tile being, a random action that only you have. So cool because yeah, you could do something those cows are the only animal in the game that give you two food when you cook it, right? Deers are one. Now you get extra stuff, right? But like yeah, it's the only animal. And then there's a special action that you can get that has a boar, and the boar is another animal that gets you two food. Now you have that, and all of a sudden you have two types of animals that can give you the two food. And it's like, wow, I have double what anybody else has. But it takes work to get, cows and
Yeah.
it takes work to get boars. So like, even take that trade action, we talked about that. That first trade you do, you can then have the option to trade in your scale knife, or if you upgrade that building, it could be any resource, for a cow. I'm like, yeah, I'm getting a cow. This is great. I can feed my people for days. And then the next time you do it, okay, I'm getting a deer. That's pretty good. I'm still getting a food. I get a couple bones and I get your hide. Then you get a sheep and you're like, okay, still getting four resources. That's pretty cool. Then you drop down to a bunny and you're like, okay, and then a fish, and then it's just those shells and it's like, uh-oh. Now I'm spending all these resources and in return, like what trade are you doing? Like you just became the worst trader. You progressed into like the senile trader. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. This is a fair deal. I'll give you, four cows and you give me two wheat. Right? This is great. This seems fair, right? Or two barley. Right? So yeah, that's an interesting one. Now, mind you, too, as you're progressing, you're probably getting closer to the end game. So having less resources is probably good too.
Not bad. Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
especially like those resources that you can convert immediately into food. Man, it's such a neat puzzle, right? Like maybe you wouldn't want a cow at that point. Yeah, it produces you two food, but it also produces you three other resources. Whereas, two of the barley also produces you two food, but without all the extra space in your inventory. So it's a
Hmm.
really yeah, clever thought process, that whole, whatever balancing they had to do that. But yeah, I really like that. Yeah.
So how'd your game go last night?
Good. I mean, I I I I, I really enjoy the settler combination. Like so I've done some really tight games where you are sort of really managing that resource production and trying not to take too much in, and then really trying to be effective with what you have. And I've scored okay on those. Um, but I've always done better when I've managed somehow with the like like last night's game with the actual settlers, right? So having those in there and then really playing off of the, okay, I'm able to play a third one here and get three of those resources instead of just one. Uh,
Right.
at just the right times to be like, now I'm taking those three and doing this. Always seems to, I got this bug flying around my face here. Always seems to be just like the more fun version of things, right? Both ways are fun, but yeah, I always seem to have a better game where I score more points as long as I have a set plan for dealing with the midden that you inevitably increase by playing that way, right? So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, 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 lots of fun doing it that way. I find with the extra, plus, it's more of the artwork you get to see and whatever, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah, yeah. How about yours?
Really good.
Yeah?
Um, yeah, I actually beat my top score last night. So, like I said, I normally go for the settler, like heavy on the settlers. I've often tried to get three full rows of settlers.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever done it because
So hard.
it's also, yeah, like so you get dealt the cards, and if it's not the right suit that you need at the right time, sorry.
Yep.
Like, so I've gotten to the end of the game and it's like I just need like a woodland one, right? Like I don't care what, I don't even need the sticks. I just give me a woodland one so I can fill out this row, and then it just doesn't come up,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Um but anyway, so last night my like major objective was have seven roof cards. So I was like, wow, I right, I need to pick roof cards. And it was like every every hand I was dealt, like there was like one roof card in there. And I'm
That's
like, well, I guess
awesome.
I'm not taking a settler. I guess I'm
Yeah.
taking the roof card.
Yeah.
And I ended
I
up
never got
I
that one yet. Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome.
I'm so I was went very slim on the settlers. So I think the first round I had two settlers, but I also had like two roof cards. So and that was like the theme throughout the game is I always had like I never had to feed my people.
That's wicked.
So I didn't really have to worry about food. I focused on grabbing those cards for like the point cards and upgrading the tiles. And my special ability was bananas, okay? So you had to pay the because it costs, right? Like you have to pay two food or two bones, I think,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
To take the special action, no matter what it is. But it let me take three different gather actions or get rid of three midden
Yeah.
or like a combination of, right? And then I upgraded it pretty quick, and so it was four. So I'm like, I am going to just use that to like get the resources instead of the settlers. Focus on getting roof cards instead of settlers. I don't have to worry about food. And yeah, so I just grabbed the point scoring cards when I could. It was interesting because I was like, well, the settlers aren't giving you points, and these cards are giving you 2 point. But I mean, if you push the furnace track up,
Yeah.
the settlers are actually worth more points because they could be worth two each, and
Two.
then
Yeah.
plus the sets, right? But I managed to upgrade almost all the actions. I think I missed two or three.
That's
I
crazy.
missed one. Sorry. Yeah, two or three upgrades I missed, maybe missed. The minor objectives, I only missed one, so I lost a couple points there, but and I yeah, just really tightly managed those resources until the end when I was pulling in so many resources, but then I needed to use the clean action because I needed the roof cards. So then I was, just cleaning up that end, and I'm like, I've got this special action where I can get rid of, I can push this thing back four times if I need to, right?
It's funny because I got the objective card that you needed to upgrade buildings,
Oh,
right?
okay.
And then I got the special building or whatever that let me upgrade buildings, right? So I was like, oh, this is great synergy, right? And I still probably only upgraded the same amount that you did. So like it's crazy that I that was my goal, and I think we probably tied on upgraded buildings, right?
Nice.
But that's a fun one. That's like
Yeah.
upgrading the your different action spots.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like to do that. It feels good
It
doing that,
does.
right? It just
Yeah.
feels so much more efficient when you're using those spots
Well, it's
on
good
both
if
the
you upgrade.
gather actions and the tough
Yeah.
ones, right? So
I usually always upgrade the craft action because it gives you a free cook at the end of the round.
yeah.
So you don't have to take that cook action, saves you there. And then the water gather one
Hmm.
gives you the you can take a fish, which gets you bones, right? I
Yes.
always find it difficult to get enough bones because of course you're
Yeah.
using bones for upgrading the gather actions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And
then
then I
bones are always
used
great with the trade too. Like if
oh
you're
yeah.
able to like create lots of bones, right? So
Mm.
yeah, by having a bunch of fish, right? Yeah.
That was the other thing. I was bumped up
Trading. Yeah.
the trade track to the second last one. I couldn't quite get it to
Yeah.
the max, which is 20 points. I
Yeah.
got it to the 15.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Oof, yeah.
Yeah. I went heavy on the furnish track. Um
Yeah, yeah.
I just because one of the ones that I was able to upgrade was the gather action for the I guess the planes. So that helps you get wool, and then that wool can be spent for furnishing, right? So it was like, and then between the hides and the wool, it was like a yeah, furnish, and then move up that way, and then get points for my because I wasn't only grabbing roof cards, right? Like it,
Yeah.
score extra points on those. But yeah, yeah. Oh, it's 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 a fun one, and yeah, it's another one of those ones that really just it's really I find it's that puzzle you have to solve. That's similar with a lot of the Garphill games, right? And they definitely have a feel for them. Garfield game. Like when you play a Garfield game, you're like, oh, I'm playing a Garfield game, right? But that's a good thing in their case for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially like the anthology feels like these are anthology games, and then the West Kingdom ones feel like they're in that set, so they have their own sort of you know feel in those sets where they kind of share some of the same mechanics or touch on things, which is kind of nice for when you're like introducing a new one of their games. This is kind of like shares a mechanic here or whatever, right? But yeah, that resource, and that's the thing, they always do these weird play on like we talked about what's that Raiders of Scythia or whatever, and the same with the other North Sea. And the worker placement, just a new take on that, where you're placing and pulling. This one's that new take on the managing your resources, where you're like, yeah, I'm doing that, but I don't want to collect a bunch and then efficiently use it. I want to collect. It's just amazing. They just do such good jobs on making you think in different ways, using kind of well-established mechanics, but in a different
Right.
way,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Brilliant. Love it. So much
Yeah,
fun.
the first time I played this game, I fell madly in love with it. I
Yeah.
was like, "You got to get it on tabletop soon." You're like, "No, but
I don't play
thanks."
online. Yeah,
But
yeah, for sure.
it's I find the beginning of the game really stressful because you don't have many actions.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but uh, but then by the end, you can do all kinds of stuff, and it's so exciting, right? Yeah,
For sure. Yeah, yeah. It's so good.
yeah, I love this one, and phenomenal solo. Like I'd say more a solo than a multiplayer game.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. No.
And that wraps up another episode of the Current Plays podcast. Check us out next week on YouTube or your favorite podcast provider. But until then, good gaming and good night.
Good night, folks.